Before we start today's countdown, I need to address the fact that some of you have more cheek than a hippo's bottom. With the topic being heartwarming moments, someone decided to send a clip of them throwing a great chaos fire orb into the chest of an invader, warming up their heart in a literal sense. I can't even be mad about that. Moving on, the true topic this episode is all about the good times, making friends, jolly cooperation, and surprising displays of kindness in a game that really gives you the choice to be noble or naughty. Starting us off at number 10 is Patrick with a themed Black Iron Tarkus cosplay, and he's doing some casual invasions in Ariandel. The first thing he sees is a white summon in the Katarina armor set. People who use that armor tend to be friendly and happy players. This one in particular is also just holding a torch and clearly just trying to help out a more inexperienced host. He swaps out his greatsword for a broken straight sword to show he's not a threat. During this time, a Dark Moon is summoned to protect the host, and I know he's called Joel, but it's not me. The first instinct the host has is panicking and attacking the invader, but I think Patrick realizes it's because he doesn't understand what's happening. It's fair to say the host is quite lucky to have such a diplomatic summon. I noticed with a lot of these submissions, there's certain players who are very good at diffusing situations and keeping everyone calm. I mean, look at them now. They're emoting, throwing wooden carvings, and just fooling around. However, due to some earlier foreshadowing, you might have realised there would be a plot twist. The Dark Moon from earlier rocks up and kills him. The icing on the cake, to me, is the summon's response to this. It's the happy little jump at the end that does it for me, and makes the submission a very wholesome one. Some dude is invading a Gravelording host in Ulasil, Dark Souls 1, and the host is a min-maxed Giant's Armor try-hard build, and worst of all, he's lagging and backstabbing. I don't know if any of you have seen those perfectly cut screams videos online or anything like that, but this is like perfectly cut justice. Mr. Luck has sent in a 30-second short clip, but the amount of emotion in it is great. He's invaded a host in Dark Souls 2 and notices something crucial is missing. All that emotion in that single gesture is amazing. I can't think of many other games where interactions like this happen. What's going on is there's a hidden bonfire in the Dragon's Sanctum area. It's not 100% necessary to find, but it's a very convenient checkpoint close to Alana. And in Dark Souls 2, you open illusory walls using the same button prompt for picking up items. And that's how this invader made that player's day. The Pontiff Cathedral area is like the wild west for invasions in Dark Souls 3. You meet all types of strange players in this location, and there's always a huge clash of covenants all the time. Lil Katu has invaded into one of these situations. She found a host in a completely bizarre setup, with no armor except a hat and wielding two small shields. Initially, there's a red invader who's sat down to enjoy this odd spectacle, and then they're both soon joined by another Aldrich faithful. This poor host can't even run away without being sniped in the back by the Silver Knight he's trying to beat. And now he's just being followed around like a mother goose with a gang of curious bystanders.
What's happening? I'm confused.
Confused is the right word. I'm beginning to think this guy must be attempting some crazy challenge run with shield only restrictions or something. In a way, this whole situation is incredibly heartwarming because although none of these players can physically help the host, they aren't attacking him, instead they're showing support from the sidelines. A group of silent supporters. And if you thought the situation couldn't get any more out of hand, 2 more players make an appearance. I think they might be both Dark Moons, but it's hard to keep track. Either way, they don't act aggressively either.
What is happening?
That invasion was a complete melting pot of different Covenant members, all kindly waiting in respect of the host's struggle. Not something you might typically expect in a game like this. Hatrix is going through the Scholar of the First Sin edition of Dark Souls 2, but with some crazy challenge run restrictions. For this playthrough, his first time, he's going for no bonfires, no Estus, all bosses. And during this section at the Tower of Flame Hellkite Dragon, he's invaded.
Oh no, you...
It's terrible timing. He needs to kill this dragon before he can safely lower the drawbridge. To make matters worse, Hatrix told me in his email, this invader apparently killed him 30 minutes prior to this. So one would assume he's likely to murder him again.
Yes, hello.
Surprisingly, he's waited for him to finish off the dragon, and realistically, you can't ask for more than that in this position.
I don't want to play this game. Oh. Okay. Holy sh...
For whatever reason, this invader completely transformed his approach the second time and has acted so generously by gifting human effigies and providing warmth healing before the boss. Hatrix can't quite believe his luck.
Okay.
Sir STABALOT is in Dark Souls 2 dueling on the Brotherhood of Blood bridge arena, and he's using a very dirty strategy by casting lingering flames in the centre so that he traps his opponent he can't get through without being blown up. Once those floating landmines are in place, he can safely fire Forbidden Suns and fireballs from behind, and this strategy is looking to be too good. Here comes the unexpected twist. I'm guessing Sir STABALOT was fairly new to trying out the strategy because he actually feels bad. He feels a bit too cheap.
I'm sorry.
So he makes a peace offering halfway through the fight with some warmth. A spontaneous, mutual agreement to rest and heal up before continuing their battle, making it more fair. And in the end, he wins with his honour intact, and lives up to his name by flawlessly ending his opponent with a Ricard's Rapier. ARTEY has invaded a solo host in the graveyard outside the Cleansing Chapel. He's using the simple yet effective Great Club, while the host uses the Exile Greatsword. You notice right there, ARTEY beat the host down to a tiny remaining health pool, but generously let the host survive and use Estus. Once again, he's letting him drink when he's low on health. It seems he wants to give the host a fighting chance and an opportunity to come back. They've been fighting so long now that they've woken up all the zombie hollows. Now the host needs to be careful about the maggots. Well, that was a close one. The whole escape from the graveyard was mildly painful to watch, but both players have silently agreed to leave and return to the chapel entrance to continue their honour fight. This is also, secondarily, a good showcase of what happens when your strength weapon has almost double the range. The host has completely run out of Estus healing.
I'm sorry.
And the invader sympathises again and drops some Siegbrows. I wasn't sure if they'd carry on, but these two madmen heal up with the bruise and then get right back to battling. This long invasion finally ends with the host close to death for the 100th time. So the invader waves and black crystal's out. ZAMM sent in a clip of something unexpected but always very pleasurable to see. This is the Looking Glass Knight in Dark Souls 2. Used to be called the Mirror Knight, but they changed it. This boss has a mirror shield which he can use to summon NPCs and real players. ZAMM has invaded a player during the boss fight, but senses that the host is really struggling and of course panicking. As someone who personally used to do a ton of Mirror Knight invasions back in the day, I can tell you it was most fun when you invaded into a team, because then it was fairly balanced. When it's just a solo host like this, there's not always that much challenge. I imagine that's why ZAMM is convincing the player that he's not a threat, and just trying to encourage him to focus on the boss. He's going above and beyond to do this by dropping a divine blessing for the host, just in case he needs some extra healing. At this point, enough time passes that the Glass Knight summons an extra NPC to aid him. Consequently, we witness the extraordinary attempt to push the NPC away from the host by blocking him with his body, slowing and trapping him against pillars, and overall just gives the host enough time to deal with the Looking Glass Knight. At this point, ZAMM has done enough to carry the host to victory and allow him to carry on his progress. ITSLOLZZ is invading on a low-level character within the Crucifixion Woods, and don't be fooled by his appearance, they all know he's using the untrue white ring to portray himself as a helpful summon. He tells me in his email he likes to bring happiness with a smile. Instantly I can tell this is another diplomatic player who likes to organise and keep the peace. When a Farron watchdog invades, he's instantly in front of him with the shield dance and friendly waving. He even reveals to the watchdog that he's an invader who's befriended the host and not an actual white summon, and this encourages the watchdog to remain an ally. However, the swamp is a dangerous place, and the Gru Leapers are especially lethal. They have attacks which easily bypass shields, and they stomp you to death. When the Sunbro suddenly falls, things devolve into chaos. The host suddenly looks weak and alone, and the watchdog's loyalties switch in the blink of an eye. It's very impressive to note how quick ITSLOLZZ acted to defuse the situation. He said he dived in to calm the invader down and keep the friendly thoughts going. Furthermore, he then drops his last remaining moss clump to cure the host's poison. He then offers some divine blessings and embers as well, lined up in a strategic path leading to a crystal lizard and directing him to an illusory wall. At the end of the submission, they reach the Old Wolf of Farron, and ITSLOLZZ wants to leave the world. He alerts the watchdog to follow his lead and jumps down the lift shaft to give the host even more souls. He mentioned that the host sent him a thank you message afterwards, and overall I think this was just a legendary peacekeeping effort, and really makes me glad that Dark Souls lets you choose how to act with others instead of forcing you down a specific path. For number one, I have to let you know, as so often happens with these community submissions, I usually get one or two clips sent in that really surprise me. This is a couple, boy and a girl. They didn't record voices, just the gameplay, but he's explained what's happening in his email to me. Right here, he summoned her and told her to wait because he's making something special, and he's asked her for a hidden blessing because he needed a few extra focus points to finish off his masterpiece, a few extra orbs to light up the pathway to their destination. So those special visual light effects you're seeing were achieved with a specific type of bow glitch. This is where it all starts making a bit more sense. Now they're in the centre of the decorative circle, he drops her a hornet ring, and she drops him a ring of favour and protection. And I followed up with him to see if those rings meant anything in particular, but I was told it's very personal to them. The prism stone inner circle he creates apparently represented them living together in the future. The rest of the clip was them talking together, which of course we can't hear, but he says it was a very happy moment. The heartwarming part to tie this all together is, it turns out this is a couple who met on Dark Souls in a long distance relationship, and they cannot meet together due to the current border lockdowns in their countries. So this whole thing was a symbolic representation of how he plans to propose when they're next allowed to meet in real life. I absolutely guarantee you didn't expect to see a virtual proposal in Dark Souls 3 today, but that's what life has come to, I guess. I hope your heart was warmed. Thanks so much to everyone who submitted to this topic. This ended up being hugely popular, and I had a good high amount of interesting submissions. If you want to be in the next video, the topic we're doing for that is plunge attacks, or plunge kills, for all the Dark Souls games. I am spacing these top 10s out a lot more, which should definitely give you time to submit if you want to. If you enjoy these types of videos, please leave a comment, like the video. I'm in a period of big channel growth all of a sudden, so thank you very much to everyone who's subscribing and enjoying these videos.